It's probably one of my better days of spring practice, but there are still things we can get better. Me and BJ need to communicate more. We need to see formations better, recognize swaps and stuff. So there's still a lot of areas we need to improve on.
Are you the kind of guy that loves the challenge? People say, as great as Clemson's defense was last year, they have to take a step back. Are you the kind of guy that just loves that challenge? Says, no, we don't have to.
Absolutely. I think if you want to be successful at this level, you have to have that mindset. You got to want to come out here and fight every day, and you're going to have critics every day that are doubting you, that think you're not good enough, and that's what drives a lot of great players. So I think most linebackers particularly have that mindset.
What did you learn being around some great linebackers, Stephon in particular, and now it's kind of your time to step into that? But what did you learn from those guys?
I think the main thing I learned from Tony, you just got to come to work every day. Things are going to happen. Things aren't going to go your way. But you got to still come out here every day and bust your butt and work like you're the starter. I mean, it took Tony 3 years to get where he's at. And fourth year, he was patient and did his time, and he's about to get drafted, but make an NFL roster. So that's the main thing. I just be patient. Things are going to happen, but you just continue to work every day.
Most people are going to talk about the defense is the guys that you guys lost going into this year. Talk about having the next man up mentality that everyone's got to pull their own weight to make sure we're as successful as this year.
I mean, I think that's why we were so good last year. When we had clearly had a lot of good seniors, but we also had a lot of depth. That's the main reason we won the number one defense in the country, was because of the depth. So those guys are gone, but we have 11 more guys that are going to step up. So I don't think it's going to be any drop off at all.
Speaking of that depth, how are some of the redshirt freshmen?
I mean, Corey and Kendall are doing really good. There's still area. I mean, everyone's got to improve, but they're definitely a lot. There's a step forward than I was my freshman year, or I guess sophomore year. So I mean, they're going to continue to grow each day, but they're playing pretty well.
Jaron mentioned that the offense kind of had their way in short yardage situations today. What went wrong, and what do you have to do to get it fixed?
I think just recognizing formations. But base personnel is a lot more difficult than the 11 personnel and all that, like spread stuff. So just recognizing formations, just knowing how to line up, and processing that really quickly was probably the main thing we were struggling with today.
You mentioned all of you that you don't really do a drop-off. To lose the caliber of players that you guys lost, and you're into a drop-off. I think some other guys are really going to have to play better than they were playing last year. I mean, there's a reason they were second team of the year.
Yeah.
They're really going to – you really believe that there's enough?
100%, absolutely. I think people think that we were the number one defense in the country because of those guys, but it's a team. We had 11 more guys behind them that were – I guess they weren't as good because they were backups, but they were pretty darn close.
You ever think as a player, because you're out there and you're accumulating stats and so forth, it's a stats-driven game, a scoreboard and so forth. Do you ever think about the end game, so to speak, like, gosh, at the end of the year, I want us to be number one in total defense, I want us to be 250 yards a game, total yardage allowed. Do you ever think about those?
I mean, of course you have goals for the season, but in game it really doesn't matter. You're out there playing ball, you want to win each game, but I mean, of course you set goals after each game, but I don't think you're asking in game, like while we're actually playing, or
no. I mean, just at the end of the year, and then just you want to be the number one defense. You want to be
absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We definitely set goals, and if we don't reach those goals, we're disappointed. And we reached a lot of those goals we set before the season last year, but there's still areas we got to get better on. There's a lot of areas we can improve on each day.
BJ is a guy who kind of took that position pretty quickly. It seems like what has he done? He's been so.
I think the main area of improvement that he's gotten better at is communication. He's been a great ball player since day one. He just had to sit behind a lot of really good players, and he's taken that role in full stride. And I think he's just been more vocal. He's been a leader. That's the main thing he struggled in his first 3 years here. He just wasn't really a talkative person, and I think he's realizing that he has to be more vocal to be a great player, and he's jumped on it. He's all across the field screaming at everybody, and that's what we needed our Mike linebacker. So he's taken that role in strides and he's done really well at it.
Physically, where's he got to on the field?
Probably closing speed. He's been the strongest person on our team since he's been here. But at 245, he can run pretty fast. He can move pretty well, and he's continuing to get faster every day.
Do you think the communication would you two is going pretty well so far?
It's going a lot better than I thought it was because I knew. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like I feel like I'm a decent like kind of vocal person, but I knew BJ hasn't been vocal since I've been here, and he has flipped a switch, and he's been the most vocal person on the defense. And I think with that, we've been done really well with communicating each other, communicating with the D line, the secondary, and so far it's gone really well.
And how important is that with so many young guys?